Mr. Ellington, I could see that you've lived here, what, since 1947, you said?
May of that year.
May of 1947. And look at these nice trees. It's nice. It's pretty.
Real small when I first came.
You know, and there's pretty English ivy growing here in the trees, and you've got a nice shield around your tree over there to keep it healthy. I could see why the city really, really wants to get its hands on this property like they've done countless others.
Make a parking lot out of it, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, or, you know, get some rent from a good liberal lawyer or something.
Yes.
This little loving letter right here, I'll just read part of it. Austin Health and Human Services, Travis County Health Department, Environmental Human Services. That's gangsters calling themselves service agents. It says, this is an inform you that a condition in violation of ordinance or state law exists on property located at 407 West 37th Street. If they want to come by and see the evil property that you live on, see, I came by before you, when you first faxed me this. And you told me that since then you raked up a few leaves. That's all you've done to straighten up the property. And it's still shocking to me. It's your property. That's not the argument. You should be able to do what you want on your property unless you've signed a homeowner's clause. And as far as I know, over here on 37th, there is no homeowner's clause, is there?
To my knowledge, I don't recall one.
So you exercised your constitutional right. You've gone to city council. You've written letters. You've made phone calls. And now you're being singled out and being harassed for no reason.
That does seem to be, cause and effect reason. It does seem to be prudent.
How long have you lived here?
Since May of 1947.
Well, how dare you be a hard-working arborist and a person that's engaged in other... I mean, that's just, how dare you?
A bourgeois member, a member of the bourgeoisie.
That's right.
Here's his property there, and he did nothing to it. That's exactly how it was. I drove by 3 or 4 days before we did the story and saw it, and the grass was uncut, unwatered. It was like 3 inches high and had dead spots in it, like any other, place with a lot of trees. And the place was well painted, nice indoors. I didn't see a tarp on the roof or anything, a danger to any children or anything. And there's some of his evil right-wing cats. Those are actually his cats, and he's got a dog. And he's also got a parrot back in his 2-story little house in the back. Lived there since '47. I actually built those houses himself. His wife died. And you can just see the problems that he's been causing. It's obvious that he's bad. And you can see and there's the arborist, little trailer. They give him a little bit of trouble about keeping that there. See, maybe if he was just like Goodman and became maybe if he was just like some of the people in government around town, nothing would happen to him. Maybe he would just be left alone. And here's the backyard, just the complete evil. You can see some lumber where he does a little bit of carpentry, and he didn't even straighten up before we came over. That's just the way it's been. There's the terrible long grass, just the worst thing I've ever seen. It was a little bit taller in back. It was probably 4.5 inches tall in back. And see, we're not hiding anything. We're showing you the back. Just a bad man trying to live his life. There he is. God, he's got to be stopped. Oh, man. And there's the letter he got on July 17th. We were on the story by the 25th, and by the 26th, and the Statesman had countered by the 31st with a story about how, it was all East Austin, it was all crime, it was all broken sewage, every buzzword they could think of. There's the little citation threatening liens on his house and $2,000 a day fines.
Here we are at a council member's house, home, down here in Austin. And I'm not going to tell you their address or who they are, but you ought to see how overgrown their house is. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Very nice little neighborhood over there, I will tell you. I think it makes me the maddest is how the paper countered with that story. We came out and did a story about Mr. Ellingson being harassed by the health department and environmental services, and 2 days later, there was a front page thing on the health department saying how wonderful they are, stopping crime, sewage, and helping the children in East Austin. Why, everything health department did it. This is a council member. Now, we should probably slap up some footage later of Mr. Ellingson's and show you that this is 10 times more overgrown than his property. Selective enforcement, selective enforcement. And we're not attacking this council member. We're just saying, hey, maybe they should know about the hypocrisy in the city that they run, that we've elected them to protect us from their own minions. Even the driveway's overgrown. I mean, look at that. And folks, the camera can't even catch what's going on in this yard. And it's not our business. We don't care. I don't think it's a problem. But
But the statesman does, the health department does. They agree $2,000 a day fines for non-compliance. Better take their home. Better bulldoze it.
The council member owns 2 houses on that street. The one you're looking at right now is supposedly where the neighbors told us she lived. That's where the hot tip told us she lived, and then we checked it out, and that is where the council member lives. And we asked 5 different neighbors. They all said, oh, yes, the council member lives there. Then they pointed us to the rent property across the street. I don't mean to laugh, but it looks like you'd see a great macaw parrot or something flying through, or Tarzan. It's unbelievable. Totally overgrown. You can't even see the front door. And it's a nice neighborhood. You can see the neighborhood there. I mean, she definitely has the worst properties in that neighborhood. We drove around a few streets, and it was just unbelievable. It seems like bureaucrats are all the same. I mean, they'll tell us how to do everything. When you go look at them, they're slobs. She owns that property. That's the rent house across the street. Holes in the roof. They have a tarp over it. You can't see how the wood's rotting. And I wish we would have got a bigger camera shot of the entire property. There must be a little trail to the door. It's unbelievable. And I'm saying leave her alone. Leave the council member alone. But if this doesn't make us act, if this doesn't make us, now there's her actual property where she lives, and the camera just does not catch it. Unbelievable. And the air was just swimming with mosquitoes. I was being bit on the head and on the back of my neck and on my hands. You know, I try to make jokes out of it and make it to where we can handle it, but really it's scary. And then to see the Austin American Statesman come out with a front page story on the cover saying, tall weeds cause crime, you know, East Austin, all these buzzwords. No, it's $2,000 a day, folks. They love it. They're making tons of money out of this, squeezing people with environmental services. I'm not trying to cause a bunch of trouble for this person. I'm saying they're running our city, and they're going around harassing people, and then it's just hypocrisy, man. And then people called the show last week, and called my radio show too, and said, oh, you know, we got to cut that grass. It's for the, you know, hurting, crime, bugs, breeding. And I'm like, he had 3-inch grass. Oh, the city wouldn't do it unless it was needed. Well, all right then. If Ellington's land's bad, then get over their city and put liens against her. $2,000 a day. Their own. Well, last Thursday's Austin American Statesman had it in there. $2,000 a day is needed. It's important to keep us safe. Yeah, safe from what, you know?
Well, we were leaving Mr. Ellingson's place in less than 150 feet from where he lives, right in the middle of the street, some giant potholes. See, the city won't even wipe its own nose, but it'll abuse older people in town and force them, terrorize them into giving them more money for their bureaucrat behavior. See, all the money is going for bureaucrat salaries. It's not going to actually do the work of the city. Now they have to force us to do everything. Here, let's see the loving pothole. Here we are, just right down the road again, and look, they're telling him to mow his yard when his grass is 3 inches high and he hasn't mowed it, when this kind of stuff's going on. About a 6-inch deep pothole. And there's more down here. So ask yourselves, what kind of country is this? Well, that's the truth of it. All they do is harass the citizens, push the people around. We're losing more and more of our personal rights, and they're making despotic inroads into private property while at the same time not taking care of the essential services. You see, they dangle essential services in front of your head. Oh, you want the potholes filled? Oh, you want the EMS to have radios, don't you? See, they pay for the essentials last and pay for all their greed and strange bureaucratic behavior first. I'm talking about the people that are under the control of our federal government that want to pay homage to them. Here we are at the loving, caring city. Austin Health and Human Services, Travis County Health Department, Environmental Health Services Division, down here on 15th Waller Street. And look at all the weeds over there. Look, it's worse than, much worse than Mr. Ellingson's ever was. By that air conditioner, look, that's 6-inch grass. Oh, I'm going to take the city building if it doesn't fix it. We'll have to put a lien against the city building. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is just the worst. Oh my gosh. Now, folks, I know this seems really stupid, doesn't it? What is the big deal about weeds growing? Much less on somebody's private property. Oh yes, the city's being well taken care of. Look how nice the city buildings are. Boy. This is where little terrorist activities are launched from in abusing the citizens of Austin, people that pay for their homes, like Mr. Ellingson, who's had his home since 1947, owns his home outright. They can't stand that. Look at it. But it's this power. Look at those bureaucrat notebooks and things up there. Think of all the wonderful harassment that goes out of this little mobster building.
Words and pictures can't describe. You have to be out there at the health department and just see how run down and messed up it was, with trash on the ground and thousands of cigarette butts and weeds growing up everywhere and walls falling down. It was just really depressing. And again, from council members to the health department that does the citations, $2,000 a day for not having your grass cut if it's over 3 inches. It's out of control. It's hypocrisy. And something scary about that letter was it said objectionable material. Well, I mean, they had trash all over the place and cans laying around the ground and just piles of cigarette butts and diseased-looking birds hopping around. I mean, that's not, and I don't, nobody's faulting them. Why are they faulting, you know? And then the paper comes in after we did that story and comes in defending the health department. They're shaking people down, man. They're shaking them down, plain and simple.